If you guys need any cards, packs, sleeves, anything of that nature, shop on TCG Player using my affiliate link in the description. So today was supposed to be the day of RBET 4, but unfortunately we only got about an hour into it before Chalong just kind of died, and after a little while it became pretty clear that there was just no way it was going to get fixed, and nothing that could be done on our end, of course, because it was just Chalong's servers that were broken or whatever. So through no fault of anyone really, the tournament is getting postponed to tomorrow. I think they plan on starting like relatively early and then just playing out the whole thing plus Top Cut in one day. I just don't have time for that, so unfortunately, I'm going to have to drop from RBET 4, which is a shame. I only played one game, and I played so badly. It was kind of tragic. If you want to watch it on stream, I think it's there. But it was really not the fault of the deck. It was definitely the fault of me. That being said, it was a tilting loss and a depressing loss. But you know what? I was planning on playing out the whole event anyway. I got into this mindset of like, all right, you know what, we still have a chance. It's Swiss, we can go on a hot streak. But then, it turned out that the tournament got canceled, so I was like, well, I guess it just doesn't matter then. After the tournament getting canceled, though, got together with some guys from the Keegan Discord to play a 16-man little fun tournament thing. No stakes or anything like that. They do this a lot. They do like to do 8-mans over there. This one was just like a little bit bigger, I guess, since it was in the fallout of the RBET getting postponed. So I decided to just bring my deck and see how I could do in one of those, and that's what we're going to be showing here today because, I planned on doing a recap video for the RBET, of course, but the RBET is now just not happening for me. So this is what you're getting in lieu of that. Now, there's like, how many rounds are in a 16-man? I don't know. We're going to find out, I guess, because round one, I'm here up against Hero Beat, definitely a matchup that I was expecting to run into. It's one of the hot decks right now. So it looks like we won the RPS. I start with Charge. Very relevant to yesterday's video, by the way. Just like Charge set something that isn't Raikou. I mean, and now they're going to go summon. I'm not sure why they didn't just summon Stratos, actually. They summoned Gilman instead. And then I just go for Quick Draw. I think maybe I should have just set Gardna. Because very often they will just summon something, try to poke in here, and then the Garden will be face up and I'll have the offering. So I'm not sure why I set Sangan here. I was just like tunnel visioning on this quick draw dandy thing, and I'm thinking I could summon the Gardna and then pop the back row, but that's not guaranteed to work. However, it does end up working in this situation because the back row is just a bottomless. So either way, we cleared out of the way. We get the Vasky set up for the future. Now we go for that quick draw dandy sweet combo that we have searched out. Make the Drill Warrior, and this card kind of solos. I mean, if you get Drill Warrior out on an open board state like this, you should pretty much win. There's not a lot of outs to that card in most decks. So here we, of course, play around them having Honest. Unfortunately, we don't have a level 4 in my hand. I could have dropped Trag and stolen the Alias main too, if that was the case. But I decided to hold on to it and just, like, chill here. The opponent draws into a DD Warrior Lady. I think they just said... Typhoon in draw phase, of course, just in case it's like a compulsory or something random. Gem Spark, especially, I think was the worry. And then we just add back the Trooper, do it again, and that works. We take out the Alias, we set past. There's going to be a Miracle Fusion. I actually don't bottomless because I want them to summon something and attack direct so I can drop the Trag and pitch the level 8 Vasky to steal the Absolute Zero, which would be very sick. It would be absolutely sick. However, the opponent summons the Stratos, forces me to use the back row straight away, so that plan does not pan out. And then here, I think I opt not to attack. And do we just set? No, I don't even set. I'm just like chilling. I want them to find a way to pierce through my stuff and get me to drop that Tragodia. So we keep cycling the drill. At this point, I'm satisfied. I could have cold waved. And maybe I should have cold waved, because if this was something, it meant the Ab Zero would have lived. But the Vasky just trades 2 for 1 either way, I guess, is the thinking. This cold wave card, it's like one of the more sus things in the build. I guess because, like, Ananta's in there is the thinking, but it's like, I'm not even sure this is needed. Anyway, I mean, I'm saying that, but it does just, like, win us the game here, right? Because we just cold wave, bring down the Ananta, don't even have to worry about what the back row are. I don't know if they could have actually stopped me, though. So game number 2, opponents opening up with the Future Fusion, not bad. Our hand is kind of bad. I'm thinking maybe I should start siding out like some number of bottomless going second. I just do not like this card going second. Maybe just like side out 1 going second. I can almost see that. Maybe I'm crazy and we should just leave it at 2 no matter what. I don't know. It's not like terrible or anything. It's just, you know, your opponent goes first, they do their play, and now it's like the bottomless is a lot worse. So we just go for the Trooper Crash, and it works. I was kind of shocked that it worked. I thought for sure there'd be a Gem Spark or Deep Prison or whatever, but nope. Then they hit in, we Typhoon the Future Fusion, bring down the Gores. This is pretty much going ideally. They could have Mind Crushed Gores. I feel like they should have Mind Crushed Gores. I guess there's like a chance. No. They should just always Mind Crush Gores there. It's pretty clear the only reason I would do that is because of Gores. So, yeah, I'm not sure why they held this. Anyway, we're just beating into everything, not getting punished. Man, this is a weird build. Why are they on Plague, actually? That is so strange. I was really shocked when I saw them summon Plague. I was like, what? I thought this was just a standard basic hero beat build, but no, they summon Plague, they get bottomless, and what do? We go in for Offering. This is a little sus because it maybe sets up Gores if they drew that off the top, but I thought it was unlikely they would be setting Mind Crush and Call the Haunted if they did. So we can just search the 1800 guy and then attack for game, conserve the Debris Dragon just in case they have something to stay alive. So a clean 2-0 there for the Reptile deck. On to the next one. I think this was against Quick Draw, so it's like a Quick Draw mirror. Very funny matchup because Vasky is like a pseudo side deck card, like pre for this, where it's if they have Dandy tokens, you can just eat their Dandy tokens as a cost to bring down the Vasky, which is very funny. So we get Dust Shooted. Our hand kind of sucks, though, so the impact of the Dust Shoot is really low. We didn't draw a single starter somehow. So they just shuffle back a Nanta, and it's like they know my back row. We Dust Shoot here, and we see that their hand that they're working with ain't too great either. So it's... Man, this is just a classic Edison format moment, by the way, where you shoot them, and then you see, oh crap, I'm getting shooted back. But both of us just had like these awkward brick hands too, so it's like the shoots weren't even that good. Fun stuff. So I think they make a really odd play here. No, wait, no, they don't. I thought they were, but then they're like, no, we're not doing that. We're sending Dandy. So now it's clear they're going to try to summon that Titanium next turn. They go for Caius. Try to hit a back row. I don't know. At this point, you pretty much got to know it's bottomless torrential set. I would not set Book of Moon in this situation. So I think maybe they just, like, shouldn't have gone for this. Like, they eat the bottomless too, but now it's just like, okay, maybe they're thinking they can play through both back rows and then next turn, but it's like I top deck the Dandelion now, and we got some Dandy on Dandy token action, which is going to kill the tribute fodder that they would need to bring out the Titanal in the first place. So now we draw Card Trooper. I don't even... Yeah, I just set this. I set this to try and bait him into Raikoing it. The opponent just rips Storm off the top. I'm like, okay, well, that sucks. We know their hand is DD Crow Titanial, which I think the Crow main deck is a little bit sus. It's... This quick draw build, it is a quick draw build, but Crow is just really mid against it because it's like you're only stopping like the 2 Debris, and I guess maybe Call of the Haunted if we count that one, although that one can also like be chained to Crow and sort of like mess it up that way. Yeah, there's no like Avarice, there's no Volcanic Shell, there's no any of that other stuff. It's like just Debris. You're just stopping Debris. And the Debris plays aren't even like the greatest thing going on in here. They're just like okay. It's not like in KFC where the Debris is super high value. So the opponent draws Starlight Road. This is actually important. The fact that I end up seeing this Starlight Road means that I bring in Dust Tornado post-board because I'm like, they must be playing a lot of back row. But right now we're just beating in with Dandelions and the opponent's bricked. We go in with the Card Trooper off the Debris Dragon and we just hit here. We're just like going in with all the little dudes. That's the plan. I don't even know if I sync. I don't think I do because I have this Compulse face down. I was shocked that they didn't Crow. I was trying to get them to Crow so that I could chain the call, but they actually just didn't. So here they go for the Caius. They actually try to banish the Debris, I guess, because it's the tuner. Then I Compulse it back, which is so good. So good. So they hit over the Dandelion. Yeah, that makes sense. You don't want to give me the draw. So here I do think we can just force this, we could just force this DD Crow with the Call of the Haunted onto the quick draw, so they just have to do it now, right? Or I'm going to make Drill and win the game. So we go for the Storm after that because we just have a clean line into a level 8 hit over, and they just scoop it up because they're on no cards, they're down bad. Game 2, I draw Dust Shoot again, which is Kind of dirty indeed. I figure if we resolve this dust shoot, we're good. I made like one weird misplay this game, I think. Right, I shoot, and I see they're on chain disappearance. I'm like, whoa. That's a base side deck card, actually. Pretty good against... Kind of okay against frogs, I guess. Although if they go through their whole deck with sub, maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, it's actually maybe not as good as you would think against frogs, though probably still playable. So yeah, the mistake I made was resetting this. It just like made their Storm a live card when I didn't need to do that because I had no back row left. So I don't know why I did that, because we also know they have a Raikou in their hand, and then they're going to set it, and this Minecon was actually doing something, so... Yeah, here they make an odd play where they waste their chain disappearance on my Raikou. I was going to have to set the Sangan and like hope they Raikou it, but instead I can just summon the Sangan and ram in. I guess they just figured that, like, because I knew the chain disappearance was there, they weren't getting value out of it anyway, but now this allows me to make a drill this turn. So we've got drill going, and it's kind of just going to be like the end of it. I decided not to play in this back row, although it ends up just being another Starlight Road. They maybe should have held onto this Foolish for when they could have somehow made a play with Quick Draw. It's not super going to matter. We add back Vasky, and we do the thing I talked about where I tribute their tokens to summon Vasky, very dirty. And we just banish our Drill Warrior again, and I think that's going to be the end of the game because they draw into a second Chain Disappearance. This is a little bit of a weird side deck card. I mean, their build was pretty normal. I guess the Crow main's a little odd, the Chain Disappearance side's a little odd, but I mean, there's people who main Crow and stuff. It's not that outlandish, I guess. Multiple Chain Disappearance, I think, is a little questionable. I guess maybe you could get away with 2, but I would probably just play 1. It's not like a terrible card. I don't hate it. But yeah, it seemed like they bricked on it for sure there. All right, next game. So we move on. We face off. This was really cool, by the way. I was watching this match that I was waiting for, and it had Bluffed Knock on his like Dark Necrofear Fiend deck, which is super cool. I gotta get that list and like play it on the channel. Someone like try to get into contact with Bluffed Knock or something for me. I need that list. Need to try that out because it looks super cool. But anyway, I was watching this match between them, and they're both just playing this crazy, like, Fiend piles with Dark Resonator and stuff, but I'm just like, what the hell is going on? This is, like, a Dark Gaia build that I'm playing against. It's maybe similar to, like, Guari's Dark Gaia stun. I mean, there's a lot of cool, like, Rock Fiend sort of decks like this. Even I have some builds. Not quite similar to this, because this was, like, some crazy fusion of, like, Dark Gaia control with like Mask of Darkness, like Keegan Cope. I don't know how to describe it. It was like a crazy pile. It was a crazy pile, and the other deck it was playing against is also a crazy pile, so I was pretty hyped to get to play against one of them here. The one thing that is worrying is like Fossil Dyna game 1 can really really catch me off guard here. So they go for Typhoon, and we just chain the goats. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. They summon Sangan attack. Of course, once again, the legendary Charge of the Light Brigade don't set Raikou play is just carrying me. I can't believe people think it's bad that this like gives info. It's just like actively good. So many times this game, I like kept adding Raikou to my hand. You're going to see later. I think I make Drill or something. I just keep adding Raikou to my hand, and I never set it. And the opponent always thinks I'm setting Raikou, and I'm just never setting Raikou. So here we get Vasky. I think I just opt not to use it. Yeah, it's just like, are we going to really main 2 Vasky Papa Sangan? It's not good. So the opponent sets Torrential and Dyna. This is a little weird. I think you should just hold on to the Dyna, right? I mean, yeah. Because now we go Sangan Crash. We both get a Sangan Search. I think I actually do go straight in for the Drill. It's absolutely wild. I mean, yeah, if they had just held his Dyna in hand, right? They could have Torrentialed and stopped this from even happening. And then they wouldn't have relied on this Dyna going through next turn. And because I have Torrential, it just outs the Dyna, which means my Drill gets to be in rotation the whole game. And I mean, see, you can see how little misplays cascade like that, let alone like the big misplays that I did in round 1 of Ribbit 4. But we're not going to talk about that too much. So, yeah, we're just cycling the Drill. We don't have a Dandy in rotation is the thing. So I'm just like, all right, we're getting rid of it. We're going to summon Kai's. We're going to hit that mod. Once again, they don't Torrential, which I can kind of see holding it here. Although, I think they were mistakenly believing that they could Torrential here. Obviously, Drill summons himself and then adds back, so you miss the activation timing on Torrential there. Here, I'm just like, all right, let's go for game. but they have the D-Prison. I figured they had it, but I was just like ready at this point to lose the drill anyway, because I feel like we're not getting tremendous value out of it. We don't have a dandy. It's like done its job, you know. So I let the drill go. Here, things actually start to go pretty south, because they get this like 2200 Dark Gaia. At first, I'm like laughing, right? It's like a 2200 Dark Gaia. Once again, outplayed with them thinking I had a Raikou set, but it was really just like something else. That being said, what happens? They just have like more disruption, and then this morphing jar goes off. Okay, wait, was that it? No. I had the judgment the morphing jar though. That was the issue. So we get deprisoned, and maybe I should have let that go. It sounds crazy, but maybe I should have just let them draw 5, because now this like puts me in a really dangerous situation where they out my debris, and I just have like 1 turn to do anything. So I'm like, okay, there's 2 dandies left in my deck. Chances of hitting one at this point pretty high, but then it doesn't happen, and I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, we gotta like just hope that Offerings keeps me alive next turn, and looks like the opponent misplayed because they had Book of Moon and they could have stopped this Offerings. So yeah, I should have lost this duel actually. I just straight up should have lost this duel. I decided to go for game. I blind space. We hit the wrong one. Maybe I should have hit the one that I knew was torrential, but I thought that was kind of cheating. So yeah, we get the torrential. We set the Book of Moon. I forget. Did I roll a dice? I thought I rolled a dice, but I didn't see it there. Anyway, we have to book to keep ourselves alive. It's like really unfortunate that it just happened to be the 3rd Legacy of Yada. They're actually playing 3. I think presumably because of the Mask of Darkness, but what are we? We're just setting back and forth. All right, here I decided to go for it. I'm thinking this other back row is nothing because it's never been used. So we just go for stuff. We out both the monsters, all 3 of the monsters, with Offerings plus Raikou, and then we just summon Vasky to try to attack for game. But they have a Book of Moon to keep themselves alive. I should have hit for 200, right? Why didn't I hit for 200? I could count, I mean. And then with 1 card left in our deck, we draw Heavy Storm. And yeah, that's the end of that game. So pretty wild one there. I think I made some mistakes. The opponent made some mistakes. And it ended up with a pretty wild back and forth. But, you know, it's rare to get through a game where no one makes even like 1 slight mistake. So I guess it's kind of, you know, in hindsight, we always see all the misplays, right? Opponent hits in with the Doom Cow. Here, they make a pretty blatant mistake here, which is setting the 2nd Doom Cow. I guess setting it face down, maybe you think it's like probably fine, but in any case, we go for this Offerings on both the monsters. We eat a Trap Stun, and I'm like, whoa. But we chain a Dust Tornado to hit the other back row. And then here, I'm like, I want to hit into this to see if I can make it activate, because if it's like a Jujitsu Master, that card starts a chain, right? I think that card starts a chain. I hope that card starts a chain, because this is like underpinning my logic here of like, we can make the Doom Cow, mess up, right? And then it flips up and it's another Doom Cow. I'm like, wow, this is even worse. This is even worse for them, because when I activate a monster effect, then the first Doom Cow is going to negate that, and then the next Doom Cow is going to negate that Doom Cow. So the Doom Cows will just kill each other while my monster effect still goes off. So we set the Raikou. We mill a Dandy on top of everything, which is just absolutely dirty. I decide that we can just hold on to this Vasky to use later with the Debris Dragon into Dandelion. So we tribute for Caius, and we hit in. Opponent just draws a Jujitsu Masters. They go set Sangan. I guess they're thinking they grab Morphing Jar and try to reset stuff, but I think that's a little bit wishful. They maybe should have just set the Jujitsu Master here, although it would have stacked the Caius, and you don't really want to do that either. They're just in a bad spot. They draw Torrential, which could be really good, but we end phase offering them. And then, I mean, obviously you could see this one's going way downhill really quickly. We're going to go Debris into Stardust, and to drop the Vasky, and that's just game over. So kind of a pretty brutal game number 2 that we are going to win there. So now we're in the finals. Doing pretty well. And we run into the bane of my existence. All right? Gladiator Beast. And we kind of brick these games too. It's not a good feeling. Not a good feeling. I see these hands and I'm like, it's not great. I mean, we have some cards, but we have no pressure whatsoever. I decide to go set Raikou, set compulsory. I don't want to charge yet, because this is a situation where giving them the info is actually bad. So they just set everything. I assume that means there's a War Chariot. I also assume they're not playing around heavy, because Glad players just never play around heavy. So I activate the Storm straight away. They chain compulse. I decided to not use it. I'm just like, nah, I want to kill this. So we kill it. We kill it, we hit in. No, wait, we charge first. Then we hit in. Then we set the other Raikou and the Book of Moon, presumably. Yes. So the opponent just draws Starlight, which is annoying. I think I should have started picking off the back row here, maybe. I mean, we'd have eaten the Torrential anyway at some point. And I don't think the Torrential was ultimately that bad when we got hit with it. I think we hit it right here, and it gets chained. And we're just kind of like, whatever, that's fine. We lose a dead Raikou that's already been used. I guess it's like an opportunity to get value out of Book, maybe, that we're not going to have, but whatever. We hit in with the Trooper. I decide the Deep Prison's fine. Maybe I could have booked it to try to get the draw, but I don't know. So we Tribute Summon Gores. I'm like, this card sucks against Chibi's. Honestly, it's just so bad, so might as well. And then I think I book here. I don't want them to Murmillo me, but then they have Smashing. I'm like, what the hell? I guess it's Glad Beast. You got to cope with what you got. This is like a pretty rough matchup game ones, though, so I'm not like out of the woods yet. I really need to kill them because once they get their Glad Beast stuff going, it's like really hard to deal with in this sort of like plant quick draw deck, of course. You really need to be post board to have a reasonable chance. The only reason we were dominating this early game is because we had the blowout Heavy Storm, but now things are kind of going to shit because the opponent was able to like stay alive long enough, basically. And yeah, everything's getting hit over. We get War Charioted again. They just set another one. Like, okay, whatever. What do I go for? Oh, I decide at this point we need to go for Brain into Black Rose Dragon, but then they had the Road, and that basically is what ended the game right there. Obviously, if this had gone off, it would have been insane, right? Because we would have gotten the second Vasky and 2 Dandy tokens. We just summoned second Vasky. The opponent would have been top decking 1 card. So we probably would have won, but they just had the Road, so it's like, whatever. Yeah, I think we're just out of ways to win the duel at this point. Like, we drew a Hamster, there's no Raikous left. It's like, whatever. The opponent clearly didn't read this card because they wouldn't have hit into it if they had. Unfortunately, they just have the Book of Moon, so... Yeah, I mean... Yeah, but we can't really... Maybe I should have hit in anyway with the Naga. I could have hit in anyway with the Naga to put this to 0 at least. I mean, I think if this Turbo Warrior gets out, we're just screwed anyway, which does end up happening. Because I don't think we have actual ways to do 4,500 points of damage left, but I probably should have just, like, put the Stardust to 0, right? We'd have at least been able to, like, pretend to play the game these last few turns, and yeah, we're just out of targets. I think the last 2 cards in deck are, like, Offerings and Torrential or something. So it's just, we can't do anything. So unfortunate game number 1. We probably... I don't know if there's anything we did super wrong there. I just think it's, like, a sort of unwinnable game number 1. Maybe we made some slight misplays because the position we were in was actually pretty good. We somehow blew it. So game 2 is crazy if I remember. I just assume at this point, like, they have Road this time if they're just setting 3 like that. So I decided to use the Mirror on 1. And now we goat. I goat because I want to make Stardust. Right. Okay, and it's a bit of an unfortunate situation. Maybe I should have dusted first. Yeah, if I had dusted first and hit this Book of Moon, I think we would actually just won the duel right then and there. So I got a little bit, like, bad sequencing there, I guess. Because then the opponent has, like, Cyber Dragon plus a Glad Beast plus a set War Chariot, which is, like, I guess the exact out to this situation after booking the Stardust. I mean, I had to hit the 1 and 4 with the Dust in order to, like, not get owned by this. But I actually did hit the 1 and 4 with Dust. I just did it at the wrong time. So here, I decide the safest play is to just Fortress like this. Yeah. And the opponent top decks Deep Prison. Maybe I should have just Typhooned it. I could have just Typhooned it here because it was clear the other 2 weren't outs, but I like wanting to save my back row here. Anyway, we get, like, they flip a Judgment. I kill the Road, so I think I'm safe, but then they just have Solemn. Like, shit. Shit, they Solemned me. It's not a great spot. So we try to go for the search. They just War Chariot, but this isn't a quest, so they can't just get the War Chariot back again. Naga shouldn't have been in my deck post board, by the way. I don't know why. I couldn't find something to side it out or something, but yeah, it's really bad versus Glad Beast. Fortunately, it's not going to matter. We're just going to tribute for Caius here. And luckily for us, the opponent is kind of stuck on this dead DD Crow. I think they just have to draw Smashing Ground, and they do. Yeah, I mean, that's just how it goes. We set the Raikou. The Raikou trades with the Laquari. This whole time I felt like the situation was a lot worse than it was because I wasn't aware that the set was just some useless dead DD Crow. And yeah, they take 400 damage and nearly die here, so they get into the quarry, though. We need to find it out. We draw Starlight Road, probably the worst top deck in my entire deck. I think every other card is more live than Starlight Road. One big thing is in both of the post-board games, I think I banished the Bestiary with a bottomless. So what do they summon this? I could have solemned that, but I feel like I need to save the solemn for some kind of like game-winning play. We just go for Scylla so that they can't like tag into anything in attack mode ever again. I think they decide. Okay, they decide to make the big guy, right? They make Heraclinos, and I just judgment it. I'm like, no, it's fine. We go for the Scylla, and now we just hope they don't have Book of Moon to stop my like battle step compulsory play, but they do, which is really bad. Fortunately, we get a lucky break, and they don't immediately top deck a Glad Beast with 1,200 or more attack points. That would have just been game over. We do eat a fat bottomless though. That sucks. They draw Knock way too late to do anything, so yeah, the side deck cards are kind of hurting them here. I've definitely noticed a lot of games tend to be lost because of oversiding. A lot of the games I lose, personally, I think I lose because of oversiding. They draw another Knock. I mean, yeah, so we just hit indirect and it's game over. We have both Vaskies in our hand for some reason. That's pretty cringe, but it doesn't matter. Cyber Dragon just going to pull it out for us in that game number 2. So game 3, the opponent goes set. I'm not sure why they set this. If I just summon something and hit over it, I mean, I guess that's not a very likely play for me to make in this deck with so many set monsters, but I mean, it could happen, especially post-board with stuff like Cyber Dragon. So they hit in. I'm thinking one of these has to be War Chariot, but actually neither one is. So I just mirror this. Oh, I guess I'm playing around Road again. I'm just like, no, wait, I'm thinking we need to put Murmillo in the graveyard because, like, the game gets a lot easier when Murmillo is in the graveyard. They can just never Murmillo you. Unfortunately, we lose our book to a Typhoon, but the other two back row are actually, like, higher priority. So here we get off the Garden Effect. I forget what I search. I searched Naga because I want to lure away something useless. That was actually what I was thinking. I'm like, why is this stupid piece of shit in my deck? We got to get rid of it. So we go for the Raikou off of the Hamster. We go for the Allure, Banish, and then we just set everything. I shouldn't have set everything. If they'd had Storm, it would have been really bad. Should have held like one card back at least. Now, they made a misplay in that they summoned this in attack mode when they could have just set it and then tagged and then out of the Raikou for sure. I mean, it would have eaten a bottomless. So, like, whatever back row they hit was probably chainable. Like, the only thing they would have hit that wouldn't have just been immediately chained was maybe Scapegoat, which isn't that useful anyway. But, yeah, now they don't get rid of the Raikou, so the Raikou is just going to eat something later. I guess it's kind of even-ish, though, because the Glads would have all been gone in that situation. So even though I would have still had the Raikou, they wouldn't have had the Suplomus here. So it kind of would have been, like, an even trade. We do manage to snipe the War Chariot, at which point I figure we can just flip up this Raikou. And we do that. We have this Ananta live. We would prefer for it to be a bit bigger. Unfortunately, we hit the bluff, but like the Starlight Road is effectively not doing anything anyway. I decide to call back Sangan and go for the hit over. And now we have Sangan at the Caius. Unfortunately, I decided to go for a back row because we can just search. I thought I could just search Quick Draw, but then I realized that I sided out Quick Draw, which... a little bit of a screw up there, but we can salvage this by getting Card Trooper to Fortress off with the Cyber Dragon. So here we just go for Scapegoat. Once again, this Knock not doing anything. I think it's a pretty overrated card, probably. So, well, I don't know. I feel like people side multiple Knocks, and you should probably just side like one Knock. Because once you hit the Raikous, it's like your opponent sees that you're playing Knock, and they don't have to set anything ever again, pretty much, if they don't want to. So... people like are aware of Knock and play around at post board, and stuff like Compulsory is super popular, so I think it's a little bit overplayed. Anyway, what was I saying? We're making Fortress Dragon, right? Obviously, that was the plan. We hit in, and they don't have anything to stop this, so I'm like, wow, that's pretty good. They do draw into a Solemn Judgment, which will presumably get used at some point here. How did it not get solemned? That's wild. They didn't even solemn this. I guess they assumed that I was going to synchro, and they didn't realize that actually I just have a second Fortress Dragon. Oh, man. I made 2 Fortress Dragons with both of the opponent's Cyber Dragons, actually. It's kind of wild. So we just synchro, and like now it's like not really worth a judgment. They draw into Gores. It's just like, why are you playing Gores and Glad Beasts, man? You play like 2 Starlight Roads and Infinity Trap cards. But yeah, we end up winning. Was that game 3? Wow, it was game 3. All right, yeah. So we ended up winning the entire 16-man. I was definitely feeling pretty high on the deck after this. Like I said, we did kind of play like shit in the one RBET game that I actually got to play before the tournament got delayed and kind of ruined with my whole like schedule conflict and stuff like that. But honestly, I'm kind of starting to feel like this deck might be cracked. I feel like when I'm playing well, deck seems pretty strong. It definitely feels weirdly powerful compared to other quick draw decks that I've played. I mean, not just based on this. I've been doing a lot of testing of this deck, obviously. I've probably played this deck more in terms of testing than like anything else this entire year, actually. I've just been playing, like, sitting here playing the hero beat matchup with freaking reptiles, like, game after game after game. And I'm really feeling the reptile deck. I gotta say, the cards are pretty strong. So I'm probably gonna cope on this pile until I manage to pilot it to a major event top of some kind. Like I said, there's no way that's happening tomorrow because I just can't play tomorrow. I already told the judges to drop me, so don't look out for that. But, maybe next time. Is there another DDV this year? I don't think I'm bringing it to RBET Rulers, which, like, not even sure that counts as a major event because it's, like, an invite-only sort of smaller thing. It's not like something with 100-plus people. But I've kind of made up my mind about what I'm bringing to RBET Rulers, and it is not reptiles. But look forward to the reptile deck maybe in just like other major events in the future, because the cope level is reaching critical mass for me on this deck. I'm feeling like it's pretty solid. Let me know if you agree in the comments section. Thumbs up the video, all that stuff. I'll see you next time. As always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Furthermore, if you enjoy my content, you should think about becoming a channel member. You get access to tons of bonus content, and it's a great way to help support the channel.